A Pocketful of Rye by Agatha Christie, narrated by Richard E. Grant. A Pocketful of Rye begins with the suspicious death of wealthy businessman Rex Fortescue, who was found poisoned at his office with a handful of rye mysteriously placed in his pocket, a clue that references the nursery rhyme Sing a Song of Sixpence. Inspector Neil begins investigating, but the murders continue, with Rex's young second wife Adele becoming the next victim, followed by the maid Gladys, who is found strangled while hanging out laundry. Into this mix comes Rex's estranged son Lancelot, who unexpectedly returned from Africa. But also into this mix comes Miss Marple, as Gladys had been her maid. She helps Inspector Neil with subtle but pertinent questions to guide him on his way. Indeed, it's Miss Marple who notes the connection with the nursery rhyme, Rex being another word for king, who was killed in his counting house. His wife, the queen so to speak, was killed eating cakes, or bread and honey. And finally there was Gladys's murder. A clothes peg was put on her nose to fit in with the line, the maid was in the garden, hanging out the clothes, when down came a blackbird and pecked off her nose. And of course it's Marple who suggests that blackbirds may be an important clue. There are several episodes in the family's history that reference blackbirds. The red herrings in the story are completely plausible, which can't always be said for Agatha Christie stories, especially the later ones. While the story is great, I can't emphasize how badly Richard E. Grant is as a narrator. I've listened to 2 previous Marple stories with him. The Moving Finger was passable but ultimately disappointing. Murder at the Vicarage was awful, so I was wary of buying this book. However, so many reviews mentioned his skill as a narrator, especially being able to do different voices, that I was convinced. I should have trusted my gut instinct and avoided this. As a straightforward narrator, his voice puts you to sleep. I zoned out several times and had to rewind to catch up what I had missed. But it's when he does voices that it all falls apart. He is horrendous.
I've a call to pay at a solicitor's office. After that, you can get me at the Golf Hotel if anything urgent turns up. Yes, sir. And find out anything you can about blackbirds, added Neil over his shoulder. Blackbirds, sir?
That's supposedly a sergeant. There are many, many parts that are so bad they're funny. The voice of Gladys is particularly bad.
Mrs. Crump called out from the kitchen.
The kettle's boiling its head off. Aren't you ever going to make that tea? Coming.
Was that the telephone I heard just now? Mary asked. Who was it?
Oh, that was the wrong number. Thought we were the laundry.
It's really hard to put into words how abominably bad he is as a narrator. As stated, his normal narrating voice is just so dull that you lose focus, and his ability to act, well, there is no ability. When describing this to a friend, I said that I was about the 3-hour mark. No, I had listened to only 2 hours, but it felt so much longer. It's such a shame that they got him and Amelia Fox to narrate so many of these Marple stories because they're both horrendous. Stephanie Cole is the only one who can hold her head high. Would I listen to another book written by Agatha Christie? Of course. Would I listen to another book narrated by Richard E. Grant? No, I'd rather have root canal work. All in all, I'd give the book a 5 out of 5, but the narrator a 1 out of 5. What do you think? Am I being overly critical of Richard E. Grant? Are there any actors who you think can successfully act and do audiobook narrations? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe as I release a new review every week. Thanks for watching.